They laughed. They said preppers were crazy. They called them conspiracy theorists, paranoid, wasting money on bunkers, stockpiling food for no reason. For years, people rolled their eyes at anyone who dared to say, one day, things will break, and then it happened. The lights went out. The shelves were empty. The water stopped running. The world they thought was stable collapsed like a house of cards. Suddenly, those who mocked preppers weren't laughing anymore. They were begging for help. This video is about that reality. Not a fantasy, not fear. It's about understanding why so many people ignore the warning signs and why that ignorance is deadly. Because here's the truth. Disasters never send invitations. They don't wait until you're ready. They hit fast, hard, and without warning. And when they do, it's not the smartest who survive. It's the most prepared. Think about it. Every time there's a hurricane, a blackout, a pandemic, what happens? People rush to the stores like a swarm of locusts, stripping shelves bare in hours. Bread, milk, water, gone. Gas stations empty. Pharmacies out of stock. And yet, these same people laughed at those who were prepared in advance. They thought nothing like this could ever happen to them, until it did. Here is something that should scare you. The average city has only 3 days worth of food in grocery stores. 3 days. That's how close we all are to chaos. When trucks stop rolling, when systems shut down, society crumbles, and the unprepared, they panic, they fight, they turn on each other. The difference between life and death isn't luck, it's preparation. But let me ask you this. Why do people mock prep? Why do they call them crazy? Because comfort makes people blind. We've lived in a world where everything feels guaranteed: water from the tablets with a switch, food in every aisle. That illusion makes people arrogant. They think governments will save them. They believe technology will fix everything. But when the system breaks, there's no magic fix, just reality. And that's where the preppers come in. They're not crazy. They're cautious. They see what others ignore. Fragility. The truth is, society is one major disaster away from collapse. It could be a grid failure, a cyber attack, a financial crash, a war that escalates overnight, or something nature throws at us: an earthquake, a megastorm, a pandemic worse than the last one. Do you think these things are impossible? Look at the headlines. They're happening. The only question is, who's ready? Now let's paint a picture. Imagine it's midnight. You wake up and your power's out. No big deal, right? But then you check your phone. No signal. Water isn't running. You look outside, darkness everywhere. You turn on the news, if you can. Nothing. Silence. Panic starts creeping in. Your fridge is warm. Your food's spoiling. Stores closed or already looted. People on your street are panicking. This isn't a movie. This is what happens when the grid goes down. And when it does, everything you take for granted stops instantly. Here's what most people never think about. When systems fail, help isn't coming fast. In disasters, emergency services get overwhelmed in hours. Governments can't save everyone. They'll prioritize critical areas and leave the rest behind. If you're not ready, you're on your own. That's why mocking preppers isn't just stupid, it's suicidal. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but prepping is expensive. Let me tell you something, it's a lot cheaper than starving. It's cheaper than watching your family suffer because you assumed nothing bad could ever happen. Preparedness isn't about fear, it's about responsibility. And here's the reality. People who laughed before, when chaos comes, they'll be the first ones knocking on your door. They'll cry, they'll beg, they'll offer anything for a bottle of water or a can of food. And that's when you realize why you prepared, not just to survive, but to avoid becoming part of the desperate mat. But preparation isn't just about stockpiling food. It's about knowledge. Do you know how to purify water without a filter? Do you know how to keep your home secure when law and order vanish? Do you know how to ration supplies so they last for weeks or months? If you don't, you're in trouble. Because in a real collapse, ignorance kills faster than hunger. And here's something else. When panic hits, people get violent. Crime spikes overnight when resources vanish. Do you have a plan to defend your home? Do you have the tools, the skills? If not, you're not ready. Being prepared isn't paranoia. It's survival in a world where systems fail and chaos spreads like wildfire. Let me give you some perspective. During the last major blackout, millions were left in the dark for days. Some people froze to death in their own homes because they had no backup heat. Others starved because they had no supplies. Meanwhile, the preppers they once everyone mocked were fine. They had light, warmth, food, water, not because they were lucky, because they planned. Now, imagine something bigger. Imagine a nationwide blackout that lasts weeks or months. Imagine an economic collapse that wipes out your savings overnight. Imagine a cyber attack shutting down hospitals, banks, and transport. These aren't science fiction scenarios. Experts have warned about them for years. The difference between those who make it and those who don't. Preparation. The sad truth is, when chaos comes, people will remember every time they mocked prep. Every time they laughed at someone building a stockpile, storing water, or learning survival skills. And they'll realize too late that being prepared wasn't crazy, it was essential. So ask yourself, are you ready? Or are you one of the people laughing until the day you're not? Because when the lights go out, when the shelves are empty, When panic turns your neighbors into threats, the only thing that matters is what you did before it happened. This isn't about fear, it's about facts. Disasters happen, systems fail. History proves it. And every time, those who prepared lived, those who didn't, they became statistics. Which side do you want to be on? If you've watched this far, you already know the answer. Start now, stock up, learn skills, build a plan. Because when the next disaster hits sanded, you won't get a warning, you'll get a choice. Survive, or join the chaos.